last impromptu session for the day. So here we are going to talk about women in Drupal. Now, any ideas what we're going to discuss in this? Why do we even have this impromptu session? Why was it decided? Or why did we even think of delivering this? Oh, really? You should really look around. May I have the women raising their hands up? So among the 20 people present here, there are only 2 women. Yeah, right. So the question in itself is an answer. We don't have many people. We don't have many in Drupal, not just in Drupal actually, in the other sectors of the society as well. However, we are focusing on Drupal. Okay, so why do we even need a separate community for women? First reason, you've already figured out, we don't see many. Second reason can be that the motivation is missing. The kind of mindset people have developed is very different from what they think about women and what they think about men. In terms of career, in terms of opportunities, everything has limited scope for women. And then there are various other reasons which we'll figure out. So if you have a close look at these pictures, it is going to be very difficult for you to locate women in it. How many can you see here? 1, 5. Saket has a very good vision, it seems. He can see 5 to 6 girls. Really great. Okay. 1 more for you. Here. Saket, come on. I can see 2. So in all these pictures, what we see is the ratio of female compared to male is really less. I mean, it's very hard to figure out if you really have women in the Drupal community or not. There are female people, there are females who are very active in the community. However, the number is so less that we have an inverted pyramid. The people who are in Drupal and are well known are maybe on top of the hierarchy. But at the bottom of the pyramid, which is actually inverted in our case, we see very less people getting into this field altogether. Okay, so this is a very interesting slide. People's perception. I consider you the people. So what is your perception about this? Does it happen or is it just exaggerated? Late nights are a no-no. You have family to take care of, you have food to cook, you have children to take care of, and then there is marriage. Isn't it true? Don't we see this in the society? Yes, we do. I mean, maybe we are laughing at this moment, but this is very true. And this is one major reason because of which we don't see the participation of female as much as we could have had the perception been slightly different. Some more reasons. Women's presence is underrepresented. There might be few. For example, outside, I was just talking to Parth and Rajiv, and when we were talking about the women empowerment in Drupal, he said, women can be good themers. And I was actually shocked. Why was it restricted to theming? Yeah, we have a developer in here. Let's clap for her. And we have male themers as well. I completely agree with the fact that women are very creative, which is why they can be good themers, but they can also be very good developers. Pardon? Yeah, we have really good male themers amongst us. Then the second reason being, there is a lack of role models. The number of, that's again the same thing. The number of people we see rising up onto the hierarchy is really less compared to the male dominance. Okay, and the last and the most interesting one is male-dominated senior positions. So among the people present over here, how many are at senior positions? Managers, leads, CEOs? I still consider that a senior position. That I was mentioning in terms of contribution. Once I show you the pictures of the people who are very much involved in the Drupal community, there are going to be very few, which is why everybody can be covered in a single slide. And that is only at the top of the hierarchy. The number of people entering into Drupal, the number of females entering into Drupal is very less. No, I would say this is a problem. Yes, the problem being an infrastructure problem. People measure women's presence in the amount of time they sit on their desks. That is it. If people can go back home and work from there, then maybe that is not an option. Yeah, so there are certain provisions which, once implemented, can make this stall rise to a really greater number. So all those people who thought at some point of time that women are bad techies, there's a big no-no. Because we have examples. We do have examples. We just need to incorporate more into ourselves, maybe promote ourselves and the people around us, the females around us, so that this goes on to the next level. Maybe as of now, we're just discussing it. In this Drupal camp 2014, we have, say, 30 to 40 female attendees. That is, again, the maximum number I'm quoting, but even that is not here. So in the next camp, what we expect is we have 100 plus. In fact, I would be really happy if the number of females are more than the number of males, which is a very unrealistic, it sounds very unrealistic at this point of time. But yes, we can have that. So what's the plan? There have to be some action items.
So there are a number of reasons. A few have already been covered. Apart from that, I feel there's always a dearth of motivation. When somebody has to opt for a career, if it is in terms of technology, if it is in terms of development, there is mostly boys which are being pushed towards it. But when it comes to females, they do not even have the right to decide. For example, Parth just mentioned that a friend of his, he was looking for an internship for his sister. So she didn't have the right to decide as to whether she wants to enter this field or not, but it was just forced. It was kind of a compulsion. You don't make your own choices. That is the kind of perception and that is the kind of society we're living in. So a lot of change is required from our own end. So what we can do is, we can foster an encouraging environment. Not just encouragement to people who are already in Drupal to move forward, but to people who are not there in Drupal, but maybe they are not very much aware of how good they can be at it. We can also conduct mentoring sessions. So this is not just for girls, not for females. Even men can conduct mentoring sessions. In fact, they should be. Given that the number of men is really high in Drupal, I would say it should be them who should take the initiative. I don't see any heads nodding as to yes, I will be taking the initiative. Everyone? Everyone?
Yes. Yeah, it's a little bit strange. I'm not put an ad saying, okay, women only come to this workshop. I don't know if I would do that. Supportive, but I don't know how I might actually do that.
We never stopped anyone from coming.
Yes.
She's right, you have to actively encourage it. It's not just about...
It's not just about stopping, it's more about motivating, giving them the platform and making them realize how good they can be. And the most important step is starting today. Today we are discussing things, maybe tomorrow we won't even remember what we discussed. So if there are more ideas that you need to put in, there are more things that we can do to make this, to take this to the next level, then please do something. And do something today itself. let's put in our ideas. Let's see how we can contribute towards this particular situation. So, any ideas from you at this moment? What steps can be taken?
Well, at least the companies here can take a vote that they provide more flexibility for timing such.
I would really appreciate that. That's great. So, all the companies present here.
Present here, most of the companies present here, they already do.
Okay, then
So the point is,
let's pass on the message to the other companies who do not allow such things.
I mean, passing on the message is one thing, but really at an implementation level, it's really difficult for force something, right? In different companies too. I don't know how we can do that. We should be doing that, but how is really a big question, because that's something that's not that easy to do. Because in a big company, 10-20,000 people, it's difficult to push anything of such sort, right?
I actually agree in terms that when we not being a part of some other company, passing on just messages won't work. Because it will not be changing their point of management. What we can do is we can make changes on our own end. We can motivate more people.
So, the companies already sitting here are already done that, right?
Because the companies present here already offer flexible timings or people
When I say present here, I mean in this room right now, all this
flexible timings. They have 4 office hours timing. So I don't know how
So the point is, how do we? It's difficult. You can just spread it by your word of mouth or whatever. But implementation is something that it's really out of our hands. It's just that we can push. Right?
Everybody would have to be doing a step session there.
Yes. How do you implement? Is the question rather than how do you?
I'd like to actually ask you what you think. I mean, there's in the U.S. this has been a big topic in the community for many years, which you might be aware of, right? U.S. and Europe. Have you heard about this stuff? Heard about the conversations that happen starting in D.C. Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, she's part of it, but other women too. Started back in DC Drupal. There was a meeting about that. There was very few women. They didn't feel highly safe there. They didn't feel respected. There's a lot of incidents of sexism, both the organizers and respect people at camp. And there's those meetings organized about it. It's been some intentional effort. Now, it's still, at a Drupal camp, women still represent only about 25% of the audience. That's up from about 5%. It's an improvement. So I think in the Drupal community there's a lot more known about it. So I think there already are a lot of resources on how to do something about it. And with Drupal, it particularly has been successful as an open source community compared to other open source communities, software communities. That being said, open source has a much lower ratio of women to men than proprietary software. Like Microsoft has many more women than open source communities do. There's a lot of theories around why that's the case. I don't know. But I think also that's a different cultural. I'm just giving this background to say that's a different place. Right, like in the U.S., in India, you find many more women as programmers than you do in the U.S. You go into an IT company, you'll see much more balanced gender ratios, particularly in larger companies than startups, because of job security and other reasons, whatever it is. So, I don't know what's appropriate in this culture that's going to be successful. One thing which I have seen, I'm curious to get your feedback, maybe it's a good idea. You guys know Sarah Chips, Girl Develop It? You know her? She has this thing she started, she's in New York, this thing called Girl Develop It. And essentially it's a series of tech workshops that are targeted towards women. It's an organization run by women. There are some men who are coming as facilitators, trainers, but it's run initiated by women, and they organize tech trainings, different sorts for women. Some of them are paid, some of them are subsidized, some of them are free. I don't know if you want to get behind this and organize that kind of stuff. If you did, I'd be happy to support it.
Yeah, that is actually a very good suggestion. In terms of organizing stuff, maybe that will be one step forward to motivating people to join. So if we encourage them in a way that we can also teach them, they'll be more than willing to come.
So the point here is, here right now, culturally speaking, how do we tell women, okay, this is not the case that men think women are not taking this? one part. That's the mindset, right? That's what you said. So how do you get that mindset on? One thing. Second thing is how do you make women understand? Okay, let's go somewhere. See, today if you look at the turnout today, there are like probably I don't know how many 300-400 people registered. Quite a number of them were girls, right? But how many turned out? Actually, that's the question. Where do you get these answers from? That's
Also the main issue is that open source, especially in the open source, doesn't.
So I think instead of thinking about that,
how do we change the mindset? That's the question. So suggestion from that would be partner and on both
I'd
sides.
say this is like one of the initiatives which should be talked about and performed at different camps at least. Can I find people like Rakhi and the rest who can actually take this forward?
And actually, what would help is pre-camp sessions in colleges wherein we are expecting and go and talk about this thing and encourage the women. Okay, this is not the thing that's going to happen at camp. Camps are something different, right? We could do pre-sessions, probably video recorded sessions. I don't know. They're going to put it on the website.
This should not be the last session as it
This should be done with the host. This should be done with the host. Host keynote, and it should be done at the beginning. See, at the end, what's happening is like we are like bunch of people who are already understanding this into this
I
again.
think there's lots to learn here.
No, but we already agreed to what we are looking at, right? But then there was a large audience which didn't agree and they left. So we lost that chance to actually make them understand what we are trying to do.
How do you feel like we can help?
Changing people's mindset is not going to happen in a day. That will really take time. But yes, the idea of taking initiative, organizing things, making people learn things is going to help in certain ways that once you are flexible enough to make your own choices, to really groom yourself into the development level, only then you can move forward in the open source community.
Well, how can we help? So I think we're talking two different things, right? We're not going to boil the ocean. We're not going to change, gender stereotypes in the tech industry here. What we can do is make this community a more welcoming place.
Yeah.
And we can do some outreach, right? So what are suggestions there that we can help with? I'm not going to
The
change.
community is already welcoming. I completely agree with that. What we are not doing is we are not motivating girls to come inside this field. There is no deterrent as such, but there has to be some sort of mentoring session.
I'd say there are some dedicated, workshops or things in especially within colleges and schools, and show them, videos of other successful women taking guys out there, guys out there, sorry. That
Sessions in like once in a while, we can always talk to them.
they know that, there's something else, right? It's not that this is just a man's line. So why not?
I also think companies should encourage, exclusive drive for women. I really like the concept because when you have such drives, this actually gives a sense of importance to the people, not in terms of undermining the capabilities, but in terms of exposure. That we are trying to expand our female employee base, which is why we are recruiting especially women for the positions.
So there is another camp to this. Probably I don't know if this is the right time to share this or not, but then there is another camp where you share women in Drupal. So sometimes it comes back like why you want to segregate. Yeah, I have heard that, right? We've heard that. We all have that. So again, this is the thing that we need to do.
It's not a sexist approach. They're not putting it as, it's not a sexist remark. They're putting it as a same. We just need to talk more about it. It's a
correct. But the point I'm trying to say that you are segregating.
Yeah, but
Yes,
those people, honestly, I hope that they leave the college. I don't really care.
Seriously. No, but then there is so the point is there is a large chunk of women who think that way from this. I don't know what's the number, but it's probably not that thing. So how do we change that mindset? Because we also need to change that mindset. We are not segregating. We are in fact welcoming. It's just the title. I don't know the title. I don't know.
But this mentioned something like going and talking at different colleges and I think the change should come from the women community saying by not allowing themselves to be segregated by not accepting admission into women's
I'm not really sure about it.
Well, that's a good idea, by the way.
Hold on. This